Good evening, all. My name is Sunday Jatu. I'm a lawyer and the founder of JCSF Support Foundation. Today, we organized a student seminar for students who are part of our JCSF Education Cafe. It's quite unfortunate that I've been trying to share my screen, but I was unable to, and as a result, a lot of people have been off and on because of the network issues we've been having. However, we will still go down to the business of the day. Okay, to start with, we have some issues we need to discuss, and they are the nutshell, the importance of education, the challenges associated with acquiring a higher education, the issues with attending online tutorials, how to use a Zoom app for meetings and classes, and external issues students wish to share with us. I would have loved if you all can see my screen right now, but it's quite unfortunate. However, we just have to deal with what we have currently. Number one, what are the importance rather of education? Joshua, I'm quite impressed with the assignment you submitted when we asked you all to provide for us not more than 10 sentences why you have to go to school. Well, briefly, I will talk about the importance of education. The first thing is education makes you acquire knowledge, building a network of knowledge. Now, in this instance, knowledge in this instance, I should say, differs because to some people, knowledge is relative. It depends on what you see it as. But education will guide you as to the proper knowledge you need to acquire and as to what is good from what is bad. Just like the philosophers will say in the study of epistemology, that it helps you acquire or know what is wrong from what is right. This is what education will do for you. Another thing is education serves as instrument of change, whether personal or global. Now, it helps you know the right thing from the wrong thing. And the fact that you know the right thing from the wrong thing will give you the opportunity to change some certain things. Maybe change something that is bad to something that is good. And for your personal growth and for the growth of the society at large. The second thing is that education serves as life goals. Now, without education, I won't be talking to you as a legal practitioner, as a lawyer. It has been my goal, or it was my goal to become a lawyer. And now education has made it possible. So many people out there want to be a doctor, a lawyer, so many things. But they can't achieve this when they don't have or they don't acquire the right knowledge which education can offer to them. The next thing is education gives you proper orientation. Now, what we mean by proper orientation, just like I said in my first point, that education make you know the right thing from the wrong thing. Education giving you proper orientation makes you see things in a very different manner, different from the way any primitive person would have seen it. So education gives you an edge to knowing the right thing. It gives you an edge over doing a good thing for the betterment of the society. And last on the list here education serves as an escape from financial bondage. When you acquire the right education, the necessary education that you need, you will discover that though many people say that, and that is the truth, education simply is not, education is not simply meant for you acquiring wealth. No, that is not the sole aim of education. Education is basically for you to acquire knowledge and translate that knowledge or transform or transcend, whichever one applies here, that knowledge to wealth. Do you get my point? So education gives you an opportunity to escape for financial bondage. So like I said, this particular class, this particular seminar is going to be an interactive section. And I would love participants to contribute to the first part of the seminar, which deals with the importance of education. We talked about acquiring of knowledge. We talked about instrument of change. We talked about life goals. It gives you opportunity to have a desire, a life goal for yourself. And we talk about it giving you a proper orientation. And lastly, on this list, we talked about education serving as an escape from financial bondage. Now, we'll be open for interactive section on those things we've talked about and other things that you can also introduce in these things we've talked about. Now, I'll be going with so who want to go first? Is it Isaac Kenny, Joshua, Rose, and others? I believe Joshua should go first. Joshua, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So talk to us on the
yes, sir.
of education.
Yeah. So as you have said, education does a lot in life to change somebody totally. The mental capacity, the social ability, the relations, it's just, it tends to change one, your orientation, your ideology, how one does even think. Sometimes how someone feel about an issue. You may think that is the alpha and omega, that's all about that thing. But going through education, you see there are still a lot to accomplish on that thing. And they say one of the things that make one to change one of the things you do, it starts from your ideas, one's ideology. So education helps to change one's ideology, the way you think, the mental perspective about something, and give one a lot of range of knowledge to do several things in life. That will be my contribution for now. Thank you, sir.
Wow, that is a very brilliant one. That's very brilliant. And I must say, I commend your attitude towards education, actually, Joshua. You've been very active in these free online tutorial sections that we organize for students preparing for WAEC and JAM. And when we started this, I thought it's just going to be for students preparing for WAEC and JAM. But truly, I see that these free online tutorial classes that we'll be organizing, it goes beyond students preparing for WAEC and JAM. It also gives you an edge wherever you are, whether you are still in school or you are not even going to school again and you are just on your own. It actually gives you an edge. It may also make you know some things, even if you've not been to school before. This online section will guide you towards acquiring the right knowledge for you to make it wherever you are. Thank you again, Joshua, for that wonderful contribution. I'll be going to Isaac Kenny for your contribution on the topic, on the issue, the importance of education. Are you there, yeah. Isaac Kenny?
Yeah, I'm here. Good evening.
Okay.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Good evening, loud and clear.
All right, my name is Isaac Kenny, as I've said. Talking about education, I would like to start with this Paulo's definition as regard to education. The man says, and I quote, that education is the process of physical and mental culture, whereby the personality of an individual is developed to the fullest. If further says undeveloped mind means develop my underdeveloped mind is kingdom of ignorance and error. That is, looking at education on its own is the kind of tools that whereby you can develop your mind. That is your mindset, the way you think, the way you reason, the way you react. I think you are with me. Hello?
Yeah.
Are you people with me?
Yes, we are. We are with you, sir.
You can see in the case of some people whereby they didn't have education to that level as expected by them, you will see the way they always behave at times that it will be very, very different to that of people who acquire the expected education that they want. Are you with me?
Yes, we are. We are.
So what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say in this sense is that education is all is a kind of tools that you can actually use to develop your personal mindset. So like for a student now, going to school, you should have it in mind that going there, I'm going there to develop my mindset. That is the way I always reason, the way I always think. Have a kind of thinking faculty about some certain things before. I'm going to change it totally. I'm going to give a kind of revolution into my mindset. Are you with me?
Yes, we are with you,
So,
but we want you to wrap up because of time, and we so that we can progress, so that we can call on others and also progress with the distance um with the seminar.
well, all right, no problem. So, as in conclusion of his theory, that Paul, he says, if you are not educated, the person will be relegated to the margin of life. So, please, my advice for everyone is that we should try at least to acquire education just so that we will not be relegated to the margin of life as things unfold in this nation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is a very deep contribution. Thank you so much. We really appreciate. On the list, on the list, it's quite unfortunate that I can't share my slide. I really prepared the slide for this. I've been having issues with my system since. Well, let's continue. The next thing is challenges associated with acquiring a higher education. Now, what do we mean by higher education? Higher education is that education that you acquire after your secondary education. Talking about polytechnic, university, and others. Now, the first thing I put here as a challenge is an unorganized mindset. Now, why do I say an unorganized mindset? I know some people will want to say that the first thing is financial incapacity, but I will disagree on several levels. The first thing is when you have an organized mindset, a focused mindset that you want to achieve or you want to go ahead with your education, you can do that. We have had people in the past that are educated that they have nothing, practically nothing with them, and they were able to go to schools. How were they able to do that? The first thing is having a mindset, a focused mindset that this particular thing, I want to do it and I will surely do it. To be sincere, one of the mindsets required is you saying to yourself that education is important. And the reasons why education is important, then you will now proceed with convincing yourself that no matter what, you are going to achieve this. Yes, challenges will come. Challenges, and that challenge is one of the most important challenge or most um, um, run to challenge. Let me use that word. Run to challenge is money, but a lot of people have been able to go to higher institutions even without anybody sponsoring them. We have had people who sponsored themselves and they became lawyers. Some of my colleagues in class are lawyers now, but while they were in school, no one sponsored them. They were doing some other work and were sponsoring themselves. Aside from that, If you are in school, in secondary school, and you really want to proceed to higher institution, you can start doing that by making sure that you are serious with your education. When you are serious with education, trust me, doors will open for you. There are a lot of organizations offering scholarship. In fact, this foundation, by the special grace of God, will be able to offer scholarship to students who are diligent and who really deserve it. But if you don't have that focused mindset towards education, towards acquiring a higher education, how will you be able to benefit from these scholarships that organizations are putting forward? Are you getting my point? Aside, another thing that I'll also discuss is social media influence. Social media these days has made education so worthless that most people believe school na scam. But the truth is, school is not scam. Social media is doing its own, and that is why I will encourage all students to be careful as to how they use their social media. Social media can positively influence your life and as well negatively destroy your life. So know how you maximize it, know how you utilize it, and know how you are able to harness it to your own benefit. Then the next thing is getting rich syndrome. Some people believe that after secondary school, they just want to get rich. My father used to say when he was alive that if you want to be educated, you have to let go of, like you have to close your eye to making money at that stage. But if you open your eye to, I want to make money and you want to educate yourself, it will affect you because you will lose focus. You have to get that syndrome of, I want to get rich, I want to get rich, and it will derail your thinking about education. This is different from you working to sponsor yourself. They are two different things. This is different from you working to sponsor yourself to acquire a higher institution, a higher education. Most people derail from the fact that education is quite important and it is the first thing that they have to go into. Right now, Yahoo have taken over the town. Boyfriend monetization has also taken over the society, where our female gender believes that all they have to do is to get a rich boyfriend that will help them. But this is not the situation. Any boyfriend you have or they think they can have will surely come at a price, and this price is very, very dangerous for you to pay back. Please acquire the right mindset for you furthering on education, on your higher education, instead of getting wrapped up with a lot of other challenges that might not be the reason why you won't be able to achieve that education needed for your career and for you to be successful in life. So that's just a brief discussion from me. Right now, I will be going to Rose. Rose, are you there? Unmute yourself and discuss to us, talk to us, the challenges you think are behind or that serves as hindrance to acquiring a higher education. Rose, can you unmute yourself? So let's hear from you briefly.
Hello, are you guys hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Please, can you repeat the question again?
The question is, what are the challenges you think affect a student going to universities and other schools after after their secondary school?
Okay.
Briefly.
All right. Like, let me say some students, some student like after their secondary school, some of them also like to complete their secondary school. Then after the secondary school, because they think that, yeah, which is true, that going to higher institution is you're going to use a lot of money to do everything, the processes, everything. So most of them don't have enough money to do that. So maybe they like think of doing other things instead of continuing their secondary school, continuing their university. But most of them, like, if they could see someone that will forward their university level, they will agree. But at times things are difficult in this country, so they don't really think they can handle those things.
Okay. I will, if possible, for participants to like show us their faces, it will be fine. But if not, we will continue. Now, in response to what Rose said, I think when I was giving a discussion on this topic, on this issue, I made mention of the fact that yes, truly, a lot of people see money as challenge, and truly, it is actually. I must say, but there are ways you can go about it to be able to overcome this challenge. Don't forget that challenges are meant to be in life. Like everybody is made to face one or two challenges. And it depends on how you are able to utilize yourself and the resources available to you for you to overcome those challenges. Now, talk to me. I said earlier that we have a lot of people that don't have money but still were able to have a higher education. I talked to you about someone sponsoring himself, working and going to school, and as well talk to you about foundations, organizations offering scholarship to students. But how will a student be able to benefit from this scholarship when they are not serious, when they are not, when they don't perform excellently in their exams? Any of foundation or organization that want to give scholarship to a student or that want to help a student, even anybody that want to help sponsor a student, will be sure that he or she is not wasting his money. And that is why the first thing is for the students to erase that mindset that money is a challenge. Focus on their education and start working on it. Trust me personally, I have had circumstances where I wrote letters, several letters to organizations, law firms, that they should like support me with their education, with what's it called, with scholarship. And if I will tell you categorically that my law school, we paid over 300,000, let's say 300,000 in law school, and I didn't pay a dime. Someone paid for me. With all this scholarship, I was offered a scholarship and I was given this opportunity to attend the Nigerian law school. Someone paid for me. So do you now get my point? In fact, two people offered to pay for me before another, I have to go for the other person to pay for me. So what I'm saying in essence is that yes, challenges are there. Everybody, most people face challenges. It depends on how you are able to utilize those challenges and utilize those challenges in line with the resources you have and overcome them. Now, because of time, because this seminar is supposed to last for 40 minutes because of other engagement that we have. So we'll be moving next to, except if someone wants to chip in briefly, any other thing. Should I call on Joshua? Yes, I think I like your name. But David, Rose, I hope you got my point.
Yes, sir, but I have a question.
Okay, please ask.
Okay. Yes. Like most of us that not most of the students that finish secondary school, most of the students that finish secondary school, most of them are like in school. they're not really doing well in school. And then yes, they're trying their best to do well in school, but they're not getting what they really want. Most like what I'm thinking is that most you will see them that what they're trying, like they're trying their best to understand a particular subject, then you will not see that they're failing. You will not be like they're failing. It's not as if they're not trying their best, but then
Okay.
inside they're doing that. Yes, deep inside they're trying their best.
Okay. If I get your question, you are saying that yes, I said that students should be serious and be on top of their games, have good scores, have good grades, so that they be able to benefit from all I've said. You are right. Some students find it difficult to be able to catch up with their lectures, and I totally understand that, and that is one of the reasons why my foundation decided to have an education cafe rather, is because of this type of students that also find it difficult to comprehend what their teachers are teaching them in school. So if I think she went off, I think she will join us maybe. Now, if these students are able to participate in tutorials or programs like this, or have personal teachers or tutors that will be guiding them, it will help them a lot in they having good scores in their exams and they performing excellently in that particular subject. Yes, let me repeat myself because we went off earlier, Rose. I said
Yes, ma'am.
that you are very right in what you said. And one of the reasons why we set up JCSF Education Cafe, it will help students like this. If they teach them, most of these topics we are taking you, definitely they will teach you in school. If they take you in school, you are unable to, you didn't understand it, when you attend this particular tutorial, you should be able to understand it. And that is why we have highly qualified tutors. We have chartered accountants, lecturers, lawyers, graduate, first class graduates taking these classes. And they are trying their best to explain, though the students have not been encouraging, the attendance of students have not been encouraging, but they've been doing their best. And we also record these classes and we also record these classes and upload them on YouTube, so that even if you are unable to understand that particular class, you can go on YouTube, watch, and watch over again for you to understand. And if you still don't understand, then when you have questions, you can ask the tutors who are taking you in this class. Trust me, we putting up this particular program, we've thought about it, we had a lot of thinking about it. We really want to help students here. We really want students to prosper. Yes, I said that if you are good, apply for scholarship and you'll be granted. Yes, a lot of people have been giving scholarship, a lot of people have been benefiting from a lot of other people because of their brilliancy and because of their intelligence. Yes, because of their intellectual capacities. Yes. But if you are unable to achieve, you are unable to fall within this category, you can benefit from this program. At least pass the necessary exams, your WAEC, your JAM. Then from there, we will know what to do. If you're able to pass your exams and reach out to people, to be sincere, how we want this particular foundation to run is to serve as stepping stone for students wherever they are, both in academics and in their finances. But when students are not showing interest, are not committing to it, how will we be able to achieve all of these things? In a nutshell, all I'm saying is that students who find it difficult to understand some courses can take extra steps by going to other students who understand it to teach them, and as well participating effectively and diligently in our daily tutorial, and also asking questions from their tutors. Then, and also reading, yes, that's another important thing. Don't think because they will teach you in class and that is all you understand. No, 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 no. If you teach me something and I don't go back to read it, oh, there I will not remember. You have to read it yourself. In fact, some people say that you are your best teacher. No one else can teach you as you teach yourself. And how do you teach yourself? You teach yourself by reading your books. I made mention something in the last outreach I went to. I said that right from my JSS classes, I've been reading for hours, like 12 hours and beyond per day. And right now it has become like something, like an habit for me. It has become something in me. You get my point? You can inculcate that particular habit into you, that will become something. Reading will not kill you. You get my point? When you read, you understand. When you read, you know better. I think I've been able to understand this. I would love if Joshua, like I called you earlier, to say something briefly about what she said. Maybe 1 hour, or 1 minute to just talk about what she said.
Yes, sir. You have really spoken it all. It really depends on the habit of the student themselves. Being serious is one of the paramount things that is very, very important. Because even some, when they get there, like
You've muted yourself, Joshua. You've muted yourself. Unmute yourself, Joshua. Can you hear me? Okay, in view of okay, you are back. We couldn't hear you, we lost you, you muted yourself. So just briefly explain, summarize what you said.
I had called on my phone before. So as I was saying, it is the strong determination is very needed from every student, because there sometimes, especially in higher institutions, there will be some things you expected, and some may not go the way you expected. But your determination to pass and to your to study, it is what we teach you online back, and seriously, it's very not needed. That is what students really need. Despite those challenges or opposition in different places, determination is very important to get one going. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Joshua, for that. And I hope Rose David is also listening to this. We have about 9 minutes to end this seminar. We have a lot of issues. A lot of issues when we are dealing with network. So the next thing we'll be discussing is online tutorials and challenges. I think I have in a way mentioned these particular things, but there are some challenges that students actually face and which I am aware of when it comes to online tutorials. The first thing is data subscription. And the next thing is technology naivety. Most people are not technologically advanced. I mean, they are still not being able to find their way around it. Then the last one is lack of technological gadgets. Some students don't have phones and stuff like that. Yes, we are aware of all of these things. In fact, I have some students that reach out to me on Facebook, that reach out to our organization on Facebook, and we're talking about these things. Yes, we are aware of that, and that is why we are also trying to seek support from people who will come to our aid. Our aim is to be able to subscribe to students, all the students, and as well provide technology gadgets like phone or tablet and this thing. But everything happens with time. Let's still keep our fingers crossed. We pray that God assist us and then provide us with sponsors who will help us. Right now, we don't have sponsors. We are just doing our thing by ourselves. And we pray that we have sponsors that can help us in this instance. Having mentioned that, however, I will still encourage students to talk to their parents about it. This is very important. They're not paying for these classes. So they talk to their parents to subscribe for them so that they'll be able to attend these classes. Then, because of time again, we'll be moving this to, okay, how to use Zoom. Yes, it's very simple. The first thing is, of course, as we all know, we downloaded it. We have to download it, install it, then sign up with your email. Then for each class, we have each, what is it called? Should I say each link? So click the right link to be able to join us. Then after that, connect to audio. When you click the right link and you join, make sure you connect to audio. If you don't, you will not be able to hear the class. Then mute yourself. Only talk when necessary or when you are expected to. And while